Revival House Network. Howdy, folks. Guess who's back? It's Zach and Aaron. And we have another installment. Very inconsistent with these. So maybe if you guys want them a little bit more consistently, you got to be honest about it. But as we think about them, we throw up episodes of Campfire Tales. And this one, I think we teased at some point, probably a while ago, because I do not recall when the last time we uploaded one was. Like I said, they're quite inconsistent. This episode, though, is going to be dedicated to, obviously, a segment of a time where, back in yesteryear, I think it was like, was it the first or second year, Zach, of BTM? It was an anniversary show, right?
I think so.
It was an anniversary call-in show, and we recorded like fucking all night. It was like 3 hours, 4 hours. It was ridiculous. And it's not something I'd probably do now. It was when we were still sort of finding our footing with format and, you know, structure and stuff like that. Anyway, that was, I think it was actually the same episode where Zach made his first appearance, which I think was the subject of the last Campfire Tale, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Which didn't turn out to be as cringy as I remember it. I'm like, oh, this isn't nearly as bad as I recalled.
I still haven't listened to it.
No, it really isn't. I'm like, oh, it was actually interesting. It was just regular Zach. It was how I know Zach to be outside of the podcasting. So I had built it up to be something completely different in my head, and that was a good episode because it was the birthplace of the shore exploitation ideas and all these the Reeves and all these things that Zach kind of brought to the show. They kind of all started there. That was the genesis, the nucleus. But anyway, on that, I believe it was the exact same call-in special that somebody that we refer to as Dr. Sleaze called in. And Dr. Sleaze, to dox him, is one of my brothers. And he called in and he told this insane story. Let me preface it by saying he lived, not so much anymore. He's kind of done. He's older now. You know, we're both in our early 30s. But back then, he was a little bit of a scamp. He was one to... trying to think. I wish you could know a couple of references I'd want to say. He was not above fucking some weird ass bar hound, no matter how old they were, how large they were, for a meal, for a ride. He was one of those guys. He didn't care. He was just a total user, and I think he got some kind of pleasure from playing that whole Tomcat game, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, this whole story he tells is a product of one of those nights. And it takes some interesting turns, and the way he tells it is hilarious. I mean, I couldn't recap the story if I wanted to. I wouldn't do it justice. So, Zach, without further ado.
There's a couple of stories, actually. It's not just one story.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I remember one in particular. But, yeah, you're right. It's a whole thing. So, if we're ready for the official intro here.
Yeah, go ahead and throw that dust on the fire. It's cold out here.
That's what I'm going to do. Submitted for the approval of the BTM Society, or the Revival House Society, whatever. I call this story The Tale of the Haunted Sleaze.
Hey, this is the Behind the Mask Gossip Line. We're here with Shit Sandwich. What's going on, man?
Not much, man. On the patio smoking a cig. How you doing?
We're pretty good.
We're doing well, man.
We hear you got so you have a bit of a ghoulish tale for us about ghosties and ghoulies.
It's more like nasty and stinky than anything. I mean, the ghosties and ghoulies don't come until the end.
Okay. Well,
I'm dying to hear it, man.
So lay us into it, man. You're still fresh off this story, right? So you're still kind of on the nerve with it. So that's exactly how we want you. So let us have it.
The beer's pretty much killed the nerve, man, by now. But I'm going to try to, revitalize it a little bit.
Cool.
And I'm going to go back and think back. My name is Shit Sandwich. I am 28 years old. I am 5'8", 194 pounds. And I'm unemployed. I am an ex-dishwasher. Not even a dishwasher anymore. I'm an ex-dishwasher. And, when you're unemployed, you go through some hardships. Starvation. You drink a lot. You whack a lot. Most of all, you starve. And I thought, hey, I do it for free all the time. I might as well get something out of it. So basically, this bar lady of mine that, some chick I picked up at the bar, she's about as old as our mother. She was like, hey, honey, do you want to, come to my place, watch some movies? I got some beer, and I make a really good meatloaf and chili. And I'm like, oh, okay, cool. Why not? I haven't eaten in a couple of days. Well, fuck it, fuck it. And, I figured, by then I'll be drunk enough to why I won't care about her big hairy snatch. But, so, okay. I went there. We watched some documentaries on ancient Egypt and aliens and shit, and she's all about that shit. She's like a psychic and all kinds of shit, and, total crackpot. Love her to death, though. She's a sweetheart. And, so I'm sitting there drinking, Parrot Bay with Coke. And midway through my sixth one, she turns on the documentaries and sets a big hot piping Frito pie down on my lap. A bowl of chili with Fritos in it, you sick fuck. And I'm like, okay, I'm eating it, and the chili's runnier than shit, but I'm not complaining. It's a free meal, but I know I'm going to have to work for it later. So I'm trying to cop out, you know what I mean? Like, I'm going to eat. I want to dine and dash. Like, I want to eat my shift and pretend like I'm having an asthma attack and go home. But, apparently, that didn't work. So I just kind of stuck it out. We watched more documentaries, and I'm just kind of like, stalling, saying, hey, let's watch this, let's watch this, let's watch this. Before we knew it, it's 2 o'clock in the morning, and she has to work at 6 a.m., so I'm like, oh, fuck, I got to go to bed. Now, fuck. So, she goes in the room. I go outside and smoke a cigarette, getting ready for the travesty. And I go back in the room, and I lay down fully clothed, and I notice, of course, she's naked. I kind of expected that. What ashames me about the whole thing was I grabbed for her cooch first because I was so drunk and didn't know any better. And, and it's like, so I'm like, yeah, fuck it. So she's like, so why do you still got your clothes on? And I'm just like, good fucking question. So I take my shit off. And I'm laying in the bed. I'm just laying there, acting casual, free balling it and stuff like that. And then she starts, whacking it and all that stuff. And then, I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. Let's get this over with. So I just get on top of her. I do the deed as fast as I can. I pull it out. I just blow like on the floor or some shit. I don't remember. It went off.
Is it? You said something about her being hairy.
And then I remember, and I look down, and this is when I sobered up. Like, okay, she's an older lady. She's like 43, so therefore she pisses like six times an hour, and it just smells like piss. You know what I mean? And I'm just like, what did I just do? And I'm looking down at her snatch, and it hadn't been trimmed since the fucking Nixon administration. You know what I'm talking about? It's fucking terrible. And so I'm like, you know what? Do the deed. I'm done. So I lay down to go to sleep. And she rolls over and goes to sleep, and I'm laying on my back staring at the ceiling. I'm just staring at the ceiling while she's sleeping, trying to figure out how I'm going to live with myself after this. So I'm just staring at the ceiling. And she's snoring like a fucking lawnmower. and I'm staring at the ceiling. She's old, she snores. And I'm staring at the ceiling, and about a couple hours goes by, and I'm still staring at the ceiling, still trying to figure out how I'm going to cope with what I've just done. And I hear this really hard rattling on the wall. And I'm like, oh, you don't think nothing of it. It's kind of an old trailer, so, air's coming on, something's happening. I don't really think much of it. And then I hear more rattling on the wall, and then someone starts banging on the wall. And I'm thinking, okay, this bitch has a husband or some shit, and he just got home. What the fuck? And then her closet door swings open and then closes. And then, oh, my cigarette's out. Shit, what's my lighter? Okay. Let's do this. Anyways, her closet door swings open after this shit's getting knocked around and shit. Her nightstand, she has like a little nightstand. She has like 4 of them, I noticed. 2 of them, on each side of the bed, and 2 of them in the corners of the rooms. and one of them is just slowly sliding across the floor.
The whole
and
unit.
I'm just like, and I'm still laying on the bed. Okay, it's pitch dark in the room, and I'm laying on the bed, and her ass is fucking weed whacking away, fucking snoring and shit. And I'm just like staring at this table, slowly inching across the floor, and she has all wood floors, you know, so you can hear it. And I'm just like, oh. At first, I was thinking, okay, did she drop something in my shit or something, or I don't know what the fuck the deal is. And then I'm just like, okay, you know, go back to bed. And then her closet door busts open really fucking hard, and the sounds get worse, and fucking like rat-a-tatting on the walls and shit, and some cocksucker, I don't know, some invisible fucking dude doing Morse code on the fucking bedpost I'm laying beside, and it's just like, and it's just shit opening and closing. We got shit fucking sliding across the floors and shit. I think fucking hearing voices under the bed. Oh, fuck. And and I'm just like, you know, I'm still kind of drunk. Like, I'm coming down from it, but I'm not really, you know, when I'm drunk, I'm pretty calm. I'm just like, I start gouging her in the back with my pinky. I'm like the fuck up. She's like, what is it, honey? And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, there's shit moving around, and fucking, we got Nosferatu creeping around the fucking room, and I'm just like, what's the fucking deal? And she's like, oh, those are just the ghosts, honey. It's okay. And I'm like, are you fucking shitting me? And she goes, yeah, don't worry about it. She's like, I've been living with them for years. They follow me around everywhere. I'm used to it. They won't hurt you. They're friendly. And I'm like, oh, fuck. And these motherfuckers are, like, getting worse and worse and worse and worse. And I know they're fucking with me because as soon as I, like, finally almost to my breaking point, they stop. And I'm like, oh, fuck. So I actually try to go to sleep. I lay on my belly. And as soon as I close my eyes, and I'm just like, oh, what the fuck? So I wake her up again, and I'm like punching her in the back. I'm getting pissed. I'm like, look, I'm just like, look, I'm not trying to be a bad guest or anything. I'm trying to be Mr. Polite, you know? And I'm just like, why the fuck is there shit sliding around your room, and who the fuck is knocking on the door, and who the fuck is stashed in your closet, and, you know, what the fuck, you know? What the fuck? And she's like, oh, she's like, well, honey, I'm psychic, and see, they're never this bad. They really, really, really don't like you. I'm just like, okay, what the fuck did I do to these guys, you know? And she's like, I don't know. And then she just goes back to sleep. And I'm like, you fucking bitch. And this goes on like a few times. I wake her ass up, and I'm like, okay, look, bitch, you got to do something about this shit. I mean, I'm sorry. I can't fucking do this. This is not being a good host, you know. And thing of it is like she pulls the blanket up and sits up, and I could see the big hairy snatch that I just fucking ravaged. Oh. And I'm just like, I look at it, and I'm like, and I'm more sober by this time, you know. I'm sober, and I'm just kind of like, the ghosts don't seem that bad now. And that actually made me feel better. That made it all better. I'm like, you know what? Shit's fucking possessed. But, you know, it could be worse. I could be sober if it's doing that, you know? So it made me feel a little better. But still, you know, I want to go to bed. You know, I want to fucking sleep. I don't feel good as it is. I got a fucking headache. My arm hurts and all this stupid shit. So finally, she just knocks me out with a couple of Tylenol gel caps. She gives me the gel caps, and I take the sons of bitches. And, of course, she fucking passes out, like, in 2 seconds. I don't know how the fuck she does that shit. I guess it's an old thing. But I'm just like, oh, shit. She's like, oh, those will take effect in 10 minutes, honey. I'm like, okay. About an hour and a half later, I'm laying there, and these motherfuckers are still tapping on the fucking wall, scooting shit across the fucking floor, fucking opening drawers and doing all kinds of stupid fucking shit. And then I'm just like, And I actually thought about just walking home. And mind you, it's like 10 miles to my house, okay? Or over that. Over that. And I'm seriously considering just walking my ass home. Until finally, when I get up, I guess the pills kick in and I just pass out on my ass on the bed.
And then you woke up and everything was just back to normal?
Yeah, everything was back to normal. I mean, she was still there with her hairy snatch and shit. That wasn't normal, but... The ghost, I actually kind of missed the ghost, because I was like, yeah, I could either have the ghost or that, you know?
Do you think it was Kane, dude, from Poltergeist?
I don't know, man. They didn't like my ass. I know it sounds funny and all, but these are some mean motherfuckers. They didn't like my ass, and it was okay, because I didn't like being there, so it was mutual, you know?
They didn't.
Did you wake up and the furniture was stacked?
No. I mean, that would have been awesome. That would have made it worth it, you know? But no, it was a fucked up night. I had fucking hairy fucking prehistoric vaginas and fucking entities and shit. It was fucked up.
Maybe because you were in cider, maybe the spirits will start following you now.
You were one.
No, that's not logical.
Okay.
Now, just
Dude, God, I do this for a living, okay?
Okay.
Pretty much. I literally fuck random bar whores more than I actually work.
So you're a full-time...
Yeah, pretty much, yeah. I mean, I got a bowl of chili and, you know, like some fucking meatloaf out of the deal. But the thing about it was the chili, to make things worse, to top off the ghost and top off the pussy and top off this and top off the grody-ness and all, the chili was runny. It tasted like Grammy's chili, Aaron. You ever had Grammy's chili?
Well, you're blowing our cover.
It's all runny and watery and shit. It tasted like Grammy's fucking chili. And the meatloaf was nothing but a big, gigantic hamburger with ketchup smeared all over it. I was fucking pissed. But it would have been like, you know, fucking... If she would have, like, taken me to Hemingway's on lobster night or something, I would have been cool with that. I would have been cool with the ghosts and the, you know, debauchery and the fucking piss-smell pussy and all that shit. But no, I got a fucking 20-pound hamburger dipped in ketchup in a fucking...
And then you got to eat it.
Yeah, I had to eat it.
Stinky fur burger.
Yeah, I had to eat a fur burger, too, and it actually made the meatloaf look good.
Okay, so just so the people that are listening know, what was your view on the paranormal before this? Like, were you kind of a skeptic, and this is like, you know...
Well, here's the thing. No, I wasn't a skeptic. I've always believed in ghosts. I just never thought I'd run into them under these circumstances.
You never thought they'd be perverts, just kind of like watching you do the, you know...
Yeah. I mean, I thought it'd be something a little more dramatic. Not, oh, I'm doing some cougar. Oh, there's fucking Casper floating around the room watching our asses.
Now, I feel it.
It really soured me on ghosts.
Okay, so is this the only occurrence that you can think of that, at least in recent times, that...
Oh, fucking an old chick?
Well,
dude, I can do like 30 stories of that shit. There was one time when... What was that, the question? What's the question?
I don't know. It was going to be more about the paranormal, not about the old ladies. Well, you were about to go on a bunch of... I know you got tons of stories.
I thought you were asking, is this the first time when I've had like a fur burger or a fucking old bitch or something? No, I'm a veteran, man.
I personally think this story is actually in your favor. It's been worse, man. You've left scarier situations at 5, 6 in the morning when it was negative 10 degrees outside walking home because it was just a better time out there than it was where you woke up, blacked out. So at least it's summertime.
Actually, man, this is probably one of the worst I've had.
Didn't you tell me you got raped by a fat chick? Basically, you woke up and she was on top of you, and I remember you calling me personally at 5 in the morning, and I was like, "Where are you?" And it was freezing out. This is the coldest winter we've had in years, and it was like negative 10 degrees out, and you're like, "I don't care."
I would take the fat bitch. I'd take the fat bitch. At least I woke up and I was asleep when she did her business, you know?
You woke up with her on top of you.
Yeah, my fucking wank smelled like sour milk afterwards, but... I mean, you know, after you do a chick, you gotta do the freshness test. You know how to, hey, Todd. You've been around the block a few times, okay? You know when you do a chick, you do a freshness test sometimes. You know how that.
I have this image of Captain Spaulding fucking that big fat chick from what was that, Devil's Rejects in my head.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying maybe it's between me and Todd, okay? Aaron, you wouldn't know anything about this, but Todd, you know when you get with a girl, you know, I mean, your girlfriend doesn't have to hear about this. It's okay, you know, just don't show her the whole. Yeah. But I'm saying, like, you know, you get with a girl and then she takes her panties off, and then you're kind of questioning how fresh she is, and then you stick a couple fingers in there, and then when she's not looking, you just take a whiff, and then you kind of evaluate. And then you're like, sometimes it's like, not too bad. Sometimes it's like, it's a little day odor, but you know that's normal. And sometimes it just smells like a can of sardines in the sun, and you're just like,
you just want to vomit.
Yeah, and you just want to fucking projectile vomit all over her fucking face. Exactly. I mean, it's like, it's fucked up, you know?
Oh,
I mean, it's like, my grandma has died 10 times.
Excuse me?
My grandma has died 10 times. I mean, I've used that excuse many times to get out of, you know, nasty chicks out. So I instead of calling my grandma died.
So the sour milk chick, we're talking about the fat chick that you woke up with on top of you, basically raping you.
Yeah, that's the sour milk chick, man.
Yeah, the sour milk chick, which that's just a horse of a different color. That's a whole new story here.
I got more stories. Should I tell you one about the Subway meatball sandwich?
Yeah, go ahead. We can always edit this into segments. Go for it. Tell us about it.
Oh, yeah, man. Oh, shit. Oh, so one time it was like, okay, back in the day, okay, you know, I used to go to the bar by my house a lot, you know, and, you know, yeah. And, you know, previous to going to the bar earlier that day, I stopped by one of my favorite stops of the day, Subway. And today I was like, you know, I usually get the spicy Italian, but today I think I'm going to get the meatball marinara with pepperonis. Why not? Let's live dangerously. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. You know, I take a couple bites out of the sandwich, and then my buddy calls me. He's like, hey, you want to come to the bar? I'm like, okay, cool. So I wrap up the sandwich, and I put it in the fridge. So, you know, I take this chick home with me, and it really sucked because she was actually really, really fucking hot, and I fucked it up, and you're going to figure out why. You know, we're doing our thing, this and that. I take her home to, quote-unquote, watch a movie with me. Wink, wink. You know, and then blah, 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 watching the movie, this and that, you know, and I got her naked and all kinds of shit. And then I go and I get my sandwich out of the fridge, and I start munching on it in my room, you know, when she's, like, stripping down. Because, you know, when I'm drunk, I get the drunk munchies. So what I do is I set the sandwich on the nightstand. So, you know, I'm doing my thing, you know, I'm just, you know, back and forth, fucking up and down, and then, you know, I have her bent over doggy style. And you know, she's on all fours, you know, so she can only see the sheets. She can't see shit. And I'm just pounding away at it, and I'm thinking, oh, I never finished that sandwich. I'm pounding away at it and shit, you know, and she don't know what's going on. She can see, like, the wall of the sheet. She don't know the fucking thing. So I fucking reach over, while still keeping my rhythm, reach over, and I grab that sandwich, trying hard to be quiet so she can't hear the paper crinkle, you know, they're wrapped in paper.
Yeah.
Being all clandestine about it. So I'm unwrapping it, and I'm eating the shit. I'm just eating it, munching on it and shit, because I'm hungry, you know? And I'm frankly, it's one of those sexual episodes where you're just kind of tired and you want to go to bed. So I'm just trying to get her off and please her. So I'm just, like, doing my thing, railing it, eat my sandwich. And I'm eating it, and I guess I bit it just the wrong way, and a meatball fell into her butt crack. And a pepperoni fell onto her ass cheek and stuck on there.
Did you eat it out?
And she's like, oh, did you get off? And I'm like, she's like, did you pull out? And I'm like, and she looks at me, and I got a fucking sandwich in my hand with marinara sauce all over my mouth. And I'm just like, dude, it's not a sexual thing. I swear to God, I was just hungry, you know? Not a sexual thing. So, and she's like, what's that in my ass? I'm like, I just dropped a meatball in your butt crack. And she's like, what? And I'm still in her at this point. My wang is holding that meatball in. And I'm just like, I'm just fucking like, can I get that for you? Trying to be polite, you know. I felt like Gilbert Gottfried on The Problem Child when, you know, the meatball got flung into the lady's food.
Oh, yeah.
And then she's like, oh my fucking God. And I'm like trying to peel the pepperoni off her butt, and she like slapped my hand. And I'm like, I'm sorry. And then she goes into my bathroom and like takes my towel and just cleans herself off. And she was out there like bat out of hell, man. She was gone. Never heard from her again.
Sound like George Costanza or whatever.
Yeah, it's
Eating in
a
bed.
George Costanza moment.
Flying too close on wings of pastrami.
Absolutely.
Close to the sun.
No. Is there anything else?
Shit, what's more, man? What's more of them? Oh, fuck.
We do one more. My personal favorite's the, and we could always, you know, do some editing if we had to, just kind of cut out some of this banter in the middle. But my favorite is the episode with the one chick where she did a certain thing on you after you did a certain thing to her. If you know what I mean.
What?
Okay, just the Latina, the Mexican.
Are you talking about the chick that, you know, without permission stuck a finger in my ass and I freaked out and kicked her in the face?
No, we're not talking about that, but you could tell us that if you want. You just did.
Yeah, that one's pretty brief, you know. That one's pretty brief. It's like she's doing her thing. I'm laying down, and she fucking brams a finger at my ass. I freaked out just out of reflex. I didn't mean to. Out of reflex, I kicked her right in her face and pretty much knocked her out cold on the fucking floor, man. And she like just fell on her ass, and she was like, you know, having a seizure for a second there. And I'm just like, it's like I wanted to say sorry, but I didn't want to say sorry because I felt she kind of owed me an apology at the same time. I just wanted to look at her and be like, we're even.
That one's good, but I was actually talking about the Mexican girl. Wink, wink.
Oh, God. Oh, shit. This is where my name shit sandwich comes from, actually.
The namesake, all right.
Yeah. Dude, this one's pretty basic too. Look, and my thing is this, okay? Here's my disclaimer, okay? If you're a girl and you're into anal sex and you want a guy to do it to you and he's actually kind enough and willing to do it for you, you better make sure you're fucking cleaned out first. I mean, that's the least you can fucking do. I mean, pulling out with mud dick is one thing. But, you know, the thing about it is like when you're doing her and shit and you feel this pressure and stuff and you're like, something ain't right. You know, I don't typically do it that way. I try to avoid anal sex because I personally don't care about it much. It don't really bother me. It's either gross or it's nothing at all, in a sense. It don't do nothing for me. But I'm trying to be the gentleman and I'm trying to be a good host. And I'm trying to, you know, give the guests what they want. It's like the customer's always right, you know, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So I'm doing her and shit, and this bitch just fucking squirts shit all fucking over me. Fucking all over me in a motel room, in the most run-down motel room in Branson, Missouri that you could find. This is when I lived with Aaron. This is when you came and visited us, you know, at our apartment, Todd. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I used to have a love nest and shit. And all that stuff. You know, we'd go off to, like, a shitty motel room. I did bang her a couple times on Aaron's couch, though.
All right. We can only flip those cushions so many times. Had too many friends jerk off on them.
Do you remember when we were, like, moving your couch and you found the used condoms in there and shit?
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you're wrapping it up for once. It's all right. Continue.
Okay. Anyways, you know, I'm in the motel room. This bitch just, like, squirts fucking shit fucking all over me. It was fucking horrible. And I didn't know what to do. Like, she was like, she had to look. I actually kind of felt bad for her. I did. Part of me wanted to fucking choke her out and pop her eyeballs out. But there was a part of me that felt really bad for her, you know? But it's kind of like your responsibility. If you're going to take objects into the anal cavity, make sure that you've dumped beforehand. You know, it's common sense. Okay, I'm getting a little emotional. I'm going to kind of calm down a little bit. But this fucking just totally fucking explodes all over my crotch. I mean, not only do I have mud dick, I mean, my fucking crotch looks like a fucking waller. It's fucking terrible.
Oh.
I mean,
What was your
okay. So what I do is I'm literally teary-eyed, and I go into the fucking shower. It's one of those, like, adjustable shower heads with, like, the hose attached and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm just, like, spraying my crotch off, rubbing that cheap fucking Best Western fucking soap all over it, trying to get all the shit off. In a shower that already has shit all in it already, because it's a nasty motel shower. And I'm just spraying myself off like this. Oh, my God. And then she's, like, crying in the room, and I'm getting my pants on. And she's like, I didn't mean to do that. And I just looked at her, and I said, you're fucking fired! That's the only thing that came to my mind.
And she would never work in the town of Branson, Missouri again after this incident.
Oh, no, she still works there. My ass left.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, that's good. It's been revolting.
She's just Branson material, man.
I guess you're right. Well, I'm very happy that you gave us the time to call in and, share with us all your stories here. Excuse me?
I just dropped a lit cigarette in my pants.
Oh, it happens.
I'm sitting outside in my boxers right now, smoking a cigarette, and my fly's kind of open because of the way I'm sitting,
Yeah.
I just
Keep it
dropped
classy.
a cherry in my pants, man.
Keep it classy.
Oh, okay. I got it. Okay.
All right,
cool.
man. All right, man. Well, I appreciate it. Well, we look forward to hearing more from you.
Yeah. Call back with all your future endeavors.
What's up?
I'm here.
Excuse me?
Give me a Killian's.
Give you a Killian's.
Killian's Red Irish.
You talking to me?
Heineken? No, I'm talking to Charles, dude.
Your beer wench? All right. Well,
yeah.
You
got PBR. That fucking sucks.
For you guys out there, the sandwich here is a little loaded, and don't take that. Don't
be the sandwich.
And don't take him being a drinker into consideration for his story last night. I can personally vouch that he's not a BSer, even though he was drunk in his little ghost tail.
Here's the deal. Here's the fucking deal. When people BS about stories, they usually tell stories that glorify them and make them look bigger than they really are. My stories are not charming at all.
You're honest.
Yeah, they defame the hell out of me. So why would I lie about them?
Why would you lie?
Why do I even tell the truth about them? Why don't I just keep them to myself sometimes?
Well, I get what you're saying. If you were going to lie about the ghost story, then you would lie and put a much more desired female in your in the slot of.
She was a hug, man.
So
she was the creepiest ghoul in that motherfucker.
So everybody out there, that should be enough validation and verification that he is for real. Because, like you said, who would not just make it all up? And but anyway, we appreciate it there, and look forward to more calls.
I really hope to God she doesn't subscribe to this fucking podcast someday on Facebook.
Well, lucky for us, we had no viewers. Haha, didn't.
Yeah,
just joking.
I know.
Bible House, 2019, y'all. That sounds like fire, like this country used to.